how interesting that is that you're bringing that up, right? That like that's a lesson, and that's really great that you're recognizing that because a lot of people don't.
Of course. But it was very clear to me that
Mm.
I was trying to make this work because saying I had a nonprofit was my ego that needed that. Like I needed that to say that. And it's hard. It's hard to hold up that mirror and be honest with myself about that.
It's hard for everybody to be honest with themselves because we always try to, you know, like you said, our ego gets involved. We want to do something, we want to prove something, but then ultimately, I always say the universe always has a better plan for us, right?
Yes,
Always.
it does always, right?
Hi, I'm Raschell Harlingten, and this is the Transformational Soul Talks. Join me as I speak to many people around the globe, and I understand how the empowerment of their story leads to the trajectory of their life. So join me.
This podcast is sponsored by.
Hi, I'm Misty Lee at Campground TBD and my favorite nonprofit, Hayden's Ray. Sometimes we need to fast from society, fast from our relationships, fast from our distractions, fast from the things that are clouding our mind from clarity that may be causing frustration or doubt. Fasting is a beautiful way to do that, and you don't have to give up food unless you want to. At Campground TBD, we offer a safe space in nature for you to come and fast from what you want to, be filled with organic nourishment, body, mind, and soul. Can't wait to see you here at campgroundtbd.com.
Hi, I'm Raschell Harlingten, and welcome to the Transformational Soul Talks and a brand new year, 2026. Really excited to share all the stories and transformation that is happening for all of my guests. So, as always, I like to ask a question. So, what would happen if we engaged in profound self reflection regarding our actions and the methods we employ and the motivation behind them? What would happen? How would it shift our lives? Well, my guest today is going to share that incredible journey. He was my guest, I believe, in 2023. This is Tiffany Jones, all the way from Florida. She came on and shared about her journey, and I'll recap just quickly for
Yeah.
everybody that, when you and I came on, you were talking about your journey to uh, Mount Kilimanjaro, how you'd gone through a cancer journey. Your parents both had cancer. You were sponsored by Post to climb Kilimanjaro. You didn't quite make it, but in doing that, coming back down, you engaged in a beautiful community who supported you for your company, Patchworks. Well, when I asked her to come back on this year, she said, yes, but a lot has changed. So I'm excited. Give us an idea of what has changed in your world, Tiffany.
Oh my goodness. Yes, thank you, Rochelle. So good to be here. And, I think even the title of this podcast, right? The Transformational Soul Talk is so perfect for where I am and the questions I'm asking, that self-searching question about my why. It was Kilimanjaro. I was day 4 and I fell. I could see the summit. And of course that's my goal, right? We all have these big mountains, these goals, these summits that we want, that we dream of, visualized, all those things. But then I fell on day 4 and
Mhm.
the summit was in sight, but I had to realize that my body wouldn't let me go. And that was that was hard. It's really hard when the summit is so close and you
Mm,
fall and realize that what you thought was your goal is changed. I was feeling unsuccessful. I was feeling like I let people down. I
mm-hmm,
was feeling like I let myself down. Like, you go through this process of reckoning, when things don't happen the way
mm-hmm,
you think they're supposed to happen. You think they're supposed to happen, right? Um, and so I was going through that, and when all of a sudden my mom's voice came to me, and I think I shared this last time too, and she said, Tiffany, sometimes it's stronger to be gentle than to fight. Acceptance to the strength comes in that. That's
mm,
where the
yes.
true strength is when you can let go.
Mm, yeah.
So, yeah, right? I mean, that is,
It's it's big because sometimes it takes a lot to let go because you're holding on for dear life, but you have to let go because there's so much more that can come when you let go, right?
that's where it is.
That's the journey, right? That's the journey of transformation is you have to go through that. But look where you are now as opposed to where you were, I believe 2023, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
2023. Totally different. Even your facial structure looks different. You've
yeah,
changed, you've
yeah,
shifted.
yeah. Exactly. We change and shit. I know. And that's what's exciting about your show, about self-reflection, is to see that and to be aware as we go through this
Yes.
journey. So what's happening is that after this last trip, it became evident to me I had to
Hmm.
look at my why. I had to look
Mm,
at my why. Why am I doing this? And what is
mm,
it really costing me? It, the money, obviously, it
hmm.
is very costly to do this program, go to Africa, bring supply. Like it's a lot. It's a very big cost. But it isn't
Hmm.
about that summit. And thankfully, every time this happens, I find myself looking and I realize that it was my ego
Oh, okay.
was a huge piece. It was like, of course, I want to say I have a nonprofit. How good does
Yeah.
that sound?
How
How,
interesting that is that you're bringing that up, right? That like that's a lesson. And that's really great that you're recognizing that because a lot of people don't.
of course, but it was very clear to me that
Mm,
I was trying to make this work because saying I had a nonprofit was my ego that needed that. Like I needed that
mm.
to say that. And it's hard. It's hard to hold up that mirror and be honest with myself about that.
It's hard for everybody to be honest with themselves because we always try to, you know, like you said, our ego gets involved. We want to do something, we want to prove something, but then ultimately, I always say the universe always has a better plan for us, right?
Yes,
Always.
it does always, right? And this is where we are now, is that Patchworks Inc. is now helping people
Hmm.
publish and create their workbooks, their books, their journals, so that everyone can have their story told, have their story published.
That's real. I see how so interesting how it metamorphosed into something very different, but still along the way. Now, I have to ask a question, of course.
Of course.
Are there people from, I think you said Zimbabwe, some of the people there, have you asked them if they want to write a story and potentially get it published?
Yes. So not, I know, not yet. I haven't, but I know that is definitely on my to-do list because the owner, the director, she's a woman that I just so admire. Mama Zara is her name.
Now, you made a move, and I think I might have touched on it at the beginning, just to revert back. You originally were living, I think, Midwest United States, and now you've moved to Florida. What sparked that move
So we were living in Maine,
in
which,
Maine? Okay,
right, so Northeast, and it was a million little
totally got
things.
that wrong. I said Midwest.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's cold. We were living in a
I,
in a
I remember that.
cold
Yes.
climate,
Yeah.
and again, it was just a million little pieces had to fall into to line, and they did, and we kind of trusted God and went along for this ride, and really have. It's our first winter in Florida.
Hmm.
I I know it really was the weather. I mean, it really was the weather. And people, it might sound, I don't know, sound silly or whatever, but the power of being warm and having sunlight,
Yes. It's so important.
it's so important.
I cannot agree with you more. I live in Toronto, and I don't know, we got an early winter this year, and it has been so gray and so cold, and I am thinking of moving. Is there anything you'd like to share with our audience and people who are watching today about your journey or about where they are in their life that you can share with them?
Absolutely. I really hope that people, and especially, this time of year, people have set goals,
Mhm.
set visions, set resolutions. I really, truly hope that my message allows you to see that to be open, to be
Mhm.
open to realities. Maybe your maybe your journey's going to look different than your vision, but that is part of is the amazement, right? That's part of the awe.